and that roster's one map, it's like a one-trick pony, is Mirage.
Yes.
So the biggest case right there is that you can more so highlight maybe there was a lot of struggles for Imperial, considering they had the players, they had the individuals, but you know it's playing up against one of your opponent's best maps. So we'll see if that struggle comes through here at all today. Imperial going to be starting on the CT side, and again, excited to see if No Way can deliver that same sort of success that he just showed, you know, last week.
And remember earlier we talked about the potential problems that Fluxo have had sometimes calling on this T side. Now we get a better taste of that. Not just a handful of rounds, not just a pistol, followed by rinky dink force and whatnot. Here, we really get to see what they're made of, and so far it's not so bad. Utility comes perfectly, damages stealth, they cross the stairs, and things are looking up for Fluxo in the opening pistol. Bomb plant's a guarantee at this rate, lest they want to fight back from CT spawn, but No Way gets his hands dirty early with VINI and Decenty. Now combining, things look to take a drastic turn for the worse. EKL and Che completely isolated from one another, but still working in perfect harmony as Che creeps back up through connector. It's technically a 2-on-2 in the site right now, going for the top. VINI tries to catch them with the element of surprise, knifing inside of the smoke. Che doesn't realize he's already gotten off of it, but now it may not matter. Henny's arrived, and so has Imperial.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
It's a nice way to finish right there. Again, VINI so elusive on these pistols, able to sneak his way through and out of the smoke. Had that kit as well to back them up, and a very successful retake right here coming through from Imperial out of the gates. I'm definitely excited though for what you mentioned here. We get to see a lot more than just force buys constantly out of Fluxo on this T side, and it also feels like a map that's easier to call around here sometimes on this T side as well. So I want to see Fluxo give us something to be excited about here. We got an attempt to jump over in towards window, but VSM just taking a fight versus 3 riflers in the middle, and he's the one that walked away.
The one thing I feel like we didn't discuss all that much was VINI on this map. I love watching him work on it. With an AK, with the Deagle, it always feels like he's a legend on this one in specific, but
What?
Heavy not really living up to his teammates' entourage. He falls pretty quickly to the mid push.
Lucaozy is going to win this round.
Should.
CT, he's in T, yeah, CT spawn right now. I don't know
This is
how you would
cooked,
ever
right? expect
this.
Imagine a world where No Way turns around for some reason. Oh, I mean, should still be a 1 round, right? That's the big thing. But they have at least given some forewarning to VINI off. Catwalk Lucaozy, though! Makes it meaningless as he wide swings out, leaving only No Way and Phelps on low HP. And Fluxo have no intentions on letting them save. You've got an extra prong in ramp. You've players ready to lurk through market. This is a tricky one to try and navigate.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really good just mid-round reaction right there. I feel like out of the gates, you see, if you're VSM, 3 players around the window area, 1 player obviously jumping towards underpass, and then 2 inside of the window. You got some weak points right there, and especially when that cat presence shows up, that is Lucaozy's chance to just gun it in towards the B side, and Lucaozy doesn't stop. He even finds some exits, some tough angles. Being encapsulated, and that is a start that you desperately need here if you want to respond if you're Fluxo.
They needed something to hold on to. Really, it's been so long since they put an actual round on the board that even like convincing concepts and good ideas are not concrete enough for this team to really hang on to. They needed something like that, and thankfully they pulled it out of the hat. But again, it was off of a lot of timing plays, right? That's not something you're gonna call off a spawn, and I'd like to see a little more consistency out of that from Fluxo. But they've at least teed themselves up for future success, because there's not a lot here for Imperial. They 4-spot in, giving it everything they have. But you're only hoping around like this is a couple of cheeky 1Ds out of players like Henny or VINI.
See more confidence in this mid take here out of the gates for Fluxo. It's a good side. Got them a little bit of leg room last time around. Got them a lot of attention turned this way. Got an interesting B setup right now. It's just Phelps over there, boosted up in the corner. This mid pressure continues to evolve here. The bomb is down. It feels like they've got an idea of where they want to go, but No way, no vision, but one pluck straight through the smoke. That'll do certainly here for an opener.
That's massive. I mean, take a gander at everything that's developing around the map right now. There's 45 seconds. The bomb is top mid. They don't have their destination set just yet. And right now, you waltz into A. It is a trap. It's a stack. And that's currently where Fluxo are shaping to land. Time isn't fancying them. They only have one smoke left. And the only thing that's helping them is the fact that Noe isn't too confident in this being an A approach in totality. But then he's got his toes dipped into ramp, rather decent-y. So this is worrying. Noah's going to shift back in. There's 18 seconds to go. And they're just looking for the volley right now. Spam under Valk as Henny falls. Still the unknown entity in ramp, but Noe is killing it from CT. Dropping the bomb. Could be the end of the round. And that's exactly what comes through, but in the opposite way. Couple of seconds to spare. It should be Fluxo taking it home.
Oh, man, that's a terrifying round. Like you said, so much could have gone wrong, but they get the kills to bail them out. And Phelps, who knows there's a couple low HP bars, they're going to give this a go. VSM right around that corner, and a CZ. One bullet would do him in. Another flash. Impossible to avoid here, but he still just lands the headshot, clotheslines him. His reward is going to be an AK, but I think that's enough time ticked off the clock to make this one undoable. And a flank will close him out. Lucaozy makes sure that a save is not viable. And Fluxo going to take the lead, punish the force buy, and get off to a fantastic start here for the T side.
Still so scary, man. I mean, look, Noe was literally one bullet away from winning that round. There was no time for somebody to pick up the bomb. There was no time to get a plant. All they would have had to do was essentially have Henny stay alive in market, where there's nobody in close proximity. So, sigh of relief for Fluxo. And a save called from Imperial. No surprise, really. Oh, wow, alright. Why not give him hell up through mid? See what you can or can't do. It's a nice shot, but, yeah, double nade back says absolutely not.
Little dunkage right there. Lovely stuff, and a quick work of that one. They want to kind of stampede their way through this map here, it seems. Setting the tone for a lot of aggressive maneuvers out of Fluxo. I mean, so far, that's what we've seen. It's been pretty fast rounds compared to Inferno. We're 4 rounds, or 5 rounds deep now at this time, and no more saving, no more opportunities. We get hunted, we get aggression out of these, T side. And I like the sort of direction that Fluxo have come into this one with. When they're ready to spring into action, they sure are ready. So far, they have not been shying away from fights. There is no way, though, giving himself any sort of opportunity to try and take some duels.
Good start.
Blasted.
Another opener from PKL leads Fluxo in the right direction continuously. Utility used up in window that doesn't seem to do them too much. But I guess it's good enough to force Phelps back into an uncomfortable angle in ladder. Pinned between a molly and a smoke. He takes his chances with the gas. And decides that maybe this is the best route of approach going forward. They don't have a ton of info, and that's a problem. It's pretty much all off a whim right now. That smoke just thrown in ramp is their last of the round.
What is the end goal here? Towards that A side, they're leaning. Decenty is going to have a lot of forward-facing duels right now as that smoke is going to fade away soon. It's going to rely on him winning these fights right now. Smoke is going to fade eventually, but he can't find multiple.
And with Noe gone, I don't even know who you really call on right now. Henny with the rifle, but even the op was where he did his work. Still in the A side, sitting on the right side of the coin. He's going to have to hit 2 shots! Which he almost spray transfers onto, but it's unconfirmed damage that Phelps doesn't seem too confident in taking just yet. Maybe if a kill is granted to him in middle, there's more of a world. But he doesn't have a kit. Lucaozy maybe itching to jump into the window, give him a quick opportunity, but for now, he's just twiddling his thumbs. Random angles of mid. Phelps eventually peeks in, turned the wrong way, and puts an already done dusted round on the board. 4-1, Fluxo. I'm impressed.
Yeah, me too. They're showing some beautiful work here on this T side already. Again, a lot of conviction here. Finding themselves in good spots. They're able to find opening duels, and what these rounds kind of end up being is pretty decisive. Good trading rolling out as well. When things do go wrong, it feels like there's always a reply so far.
It feels like now it's Fluxo getting that man advantage, which they were consistently doing in the first map, but putting pen to paper in the following parts. That's what really killed them there on Inferno. Here, different story. And VSM, Zevi, and PKL are all contributing to the heroic tale that seems to be Mirage. Aiming for a 5-1 start to the map. It is hot off the presses.
That it is. Decisive. And towards this mid-control again. Spending a lot of resources, a lot of utility, and getting rewarded with it. By making sure that that 4-man stack doesn't go too far out of control. You can see the X's on the map right there. They all line up perfectly. They actually might lean in towards Phelps, which could be interesting. Expect him to be, at least on any given round, towards the catwalk side of things, but they're going to close in on him. Now it's a game of timing here that is going to be won by Che. He'll just hunt down a win by eliminations. And Fluxo find their way to 5, only losing the pistol so far.
This is impressive. Even more impressive that they lost the pistol and put up this performance is another big thing too, right? Because they played with a massive disadvantage for a handful of rounds. But we do finally see the op on Henny. Could be a turning of the page. However, deja vu strikes when you realize this was the exact same score of the first map in reverse. So I'm curious to see how much length there really is to come out of this op. So far, it seems more or less the same from Imperial.
I don't see any big change-ups. It does feel like there's a lot more, at least just numbers straight up on this mid-angle to cover business here. Lucaozy again looking to tussle with this pressure. No way. He's not shy away from a fight, but he's been struggling to win it now consistently. This time gets away with the big one. Lucaozy hits the deck, and the mid collapse comes through. Again, a good trade from the CT side. What's the reaction now out of Fluxo once they spot out all this presence towards mid?
It's going back to A. And they're going to be well met by 3 ready to go Imperial CTs. Flashes Sublime and takes care of no way. Biggest threat eliminated. But now Decenty's looking to step back up when he's called upon. Bomb on the back of VSM doesn't feel comfortable enough to plant, so instead, they'll line up, giving ample opportunity to Decenty and Khan to put this round in his hands. Now the op of Henny's next. And he won't miss onto Che. Maybe there is some more truth to the Imperial success once the op comes out, but only time will tell.
I mean, I think just a great adjustment in the game plan here. Mid's been a bit of a point of contention. You've been losing a lot of these opening duels, and Flux have been able to use that control that they have to get extra influence on their executes, and you could imagine that the A-side play would have went well if they had a man towards mid, if they had presence and connector, any sort of lurking business right there, but they have none of that opportunity, and you can see, well, they still have some pretty impressive shots and great utility to get them on towards that A side. They do lack the extra prong of approach here. Henny ducks right underneath the PKL, still takes a bullet. Not too much damage for that, but walks away with a warning shot.
I'm gonna say it could have been a lot worse. Only take the risk of a warning's a lot more of a benefit. Now, it's VSM not taking the warning so lightly as he nades open the smoke. Surprise, there's VINI. And there's a rare opener for Imperial.
That's just a nasty off angle right there. I don't know what you do about that one. Tough to handle. And like you said, a rare opener, they can use that to full effect. Hearing Zevi in the Molotov, more information. So much movement in middle being called over from Phelps.
Dude. Oh, man. You always just feel like they're going to spam. But no. No dice here. Now I got my eye on Henny. It looks like they might walk up through Cat, but no, they reroute when they get control of ladder, and now you've got Phelps to worry about as you initially predicted. But they're very passive for my liking right now, and without a ton to help them map control-wise, kind of feels like you're destined for the slammer. While there's no smokes to prohibit you from a site's entrance, there is the op of Henny. There is still the backup in Decenty, and honestly, baiting presence right now isn't going to do you any favors. It's a 5-on-4. You know it's coming, B. The bomb's been dropped, and at this point, I don't even think it matters. There's just no time. You hide at this point, even if the kills come through. The round's just done.
And the kills certainly will come through. They'll come through in stride. As Imperial dominating that round right there. And this is more of what I kind of worry about on Fluxo's T side, is sometimes it feels like there's not a clear set in stone in goal, a game plan in time for the timer on the top of your screen to, you know, become the biggest factor right there. And when that time gets too far down, it leaves you in what I would say just very lackadaisical clears. Kind of sloppy CS gets played at that point. Adjustment could be to see a little bit more off-spawn calling come through here, but VINI's looking for another one of those opening duels here. He has an opportunity up against VSM. Instead, he loses it.
That's what I wanted to see. Opener comes through, you get what you're looking for, you go straight in, but Phelps is ready to counter you at the seams. Peels back to put them on the even stat as he burns inside of the Molotov. Smoke comes through in the nick of time, and he's just looking to stay alive. Every second is crucial. He bought time perfectly for Henny and Decency to both arrive on the scene, but now the Ops gonna have to start hitting some lights-out shots, and it seems he's missed. Everyone, a rarity of Henny gives enough room for Sevi to clean house, and even though it's a chaotic round, it's one Fluxo won't fall behind in.
Yeah, finally start to see some misses here out of Henny, and it cost him dearly. You could hear those shots firing off, but you could see nothing in your kill feed favoring Imperial. And a bit of a tough exit right there. Because right now, you got VINI playing a very confident game. He's got the numbers to make these plays right now, right? So you can't even fault him too much for going for that fight. But when he falls, you got Phelps being able to stand tall. You probably just needed some extra influence here out of Henny. And it's carrying forward. Another bit of an awkward miss here. He spots Lucaozy flying up catwalk, and it's a connection through the smoke that he finally lands. But Decency doesn't last long. He's dropped as well, and Phelps playing with fire right now. As the rest of his team falls, it's going to be a kill, but the reaction to trade possible, but not yet completed.
The problem is it's all unconfirmed damage, right? That kill eventually comes through, but they really have no idea what they've done in middle. Honest to God, 3-on-4 is sneaking through the catwalk. Phelps looks to get something desperate. Only thing stopping them from going into A right now is Henny. And I wonder if they're going to place the smoke in the window room. Yeah, they do have the one left. Not shocking to see, and as soon as it comes through, I think Henny's just going to bow out, realizing this is his time come. But I wonder if they'll even let you save this for free. I mean, there's a ton of cash to play with on a couple of these players.
Yeah, next round is the last of the half here, so maybe send, you know, a couple AKs in the mix on a bit hunting endeavor. You can see Sevi keeping them contained. There's a great reaction right there. So far, I mean, you see... For one round, Fluxo kind of fizzle out to the timer, and then now back-to-back rounds, we've seen off-spawn calls with a lot of conviction. And that adjustment alone has bailed them out. It's given them even more grace here on this T side. I do some PKL.
This, man.
Yeah, I know. They don't want to hunt too crazy because, again, you actually could run into some financial trouble, but... Everyone's still going to be looking good for the last couple rounds of half here. Lucaozy started the run with the op, by the way, here. This might be an interesting pick. He's going to be boosted over towards A right now.
Yep. I mean, they kind of have to get desperate with a half-buy like this, right? You're not going to win it by sitting back on sites with MP9s at long-range angles. Like, they're going to take some liberties. And I think Fluxo are okay with that, but instead of being okay, they're complacent.
Another HE.
More likely. No,
here we go.
Surely not. No way. Oh.
Any?
Oh my God, he almost got it too, man.
2 HEs sent his way. Nice trade from Zevi to answer back. But it's instantly responded on here. Now we have Jay as the biggest problem in this round. That Molly is going to flush Phelps out of contention here.
Jay is still leading people right now. He does not care. Wide swing, one tap, get him out. Leaves Henny and VINI in desperation. Lucaozy, if he goes above this ticket box, could be the biggest mistake of the game. But for now, he's just going to play patiently. tap, spam back in. VINI was ready the whole time, but it'll only amass damage and an extra dink on the following player. Henny, good anti-flash, good flick, but that was onto the low Lucaozy. It's not really much to go riding off of, so away they go again, allowing Fluxo 8 before the half concludes.
They will. Able to make a great escape here. Jay. Not so lucky on his hunt. And again, well, he's not a big factor. VSM now gets his chance to strike, but I don't think he'll make it in time either. Unless, hold on. Oh, never mind. He makes it in time to die right there. And he going for, again, some consolation prizes. But this half, he's getting a little bit out of control numbers-wise here. So it's important that he gives himself one more chance with this AWP. In fact, he gives his team a double op. But it's got to be 4 here, it feels like. You don't want to let Fluxo run away with things.
There's really only one more chance to stop that. 9 rounds could be huge for this team. This is more of the Fluxo I expected to see in the first game of competition. But is Decent going to go into Palace? Kind of wonder. Jay throwing that volley for him in. No, it's the inverse. Ruse as Shay walks up for yet another opener. It feels like he's one of the more successful players on Fluxo right now.
I mean, this control is too much to bear right now. We are scared to peek CT spawn. We have no jungle control. We got a post plan activated. And we got one less player to work with here if you're Imperial. Fluxo looking to really close this half out strong with a beautiful finish. A layup post plant right now. Sealed on in, and you gotta again get past it. He missed op shot, repeat misses again, but his riflers are sharp. Like you said, Jay delivering in the server, as well as the rest of the squad. Well, Henny again is gonna get more cosmetic kills, and it does look pretty. It's still Fluxo grabbing themselves 9 here and taking us into the half. And we are back. Anthran stinking up the joint, and myself here ready to cast the second half as Fluxo are giving Imperial a taste of their own medicine right now. Looking for a dominant half, looking for a dominant finish. They got to do it on the CT side. I'm starting to think that they are capable here of completing the mission.
I mean, a pistol win could really start to put them across the finish. Remember, this series has been 3-0 on pistols in the favor of Imperial. Now, Fluxo, they want to change that around right where it would hurt the most. For now, it's just info being taken toward the apartments, shifting around different CTs, hoping that the Chaos could contract another pistol win for Imperial, but instead, it's actually Zevi finding an opener on the lurkout mid. Che is next in line as 4 eager T's get ready to waltz into these dualies. Timing's everything, and Decent T deletes on the way in.
Oh, I just walked right on into that. Spots out the setup, spots out the squad. There's a lot of time left here, so you don't see any over-rotations right now from Fluxo, even though that call from Che might give you a clear image. Utility still diligent as well. Imperial get execution on towards A. Now Decenty off the flashbang. He's going to dive through the smoke, but he's getting blocked by Zevi in position to succeed. But no shots to back it up right now. We have Imperial looking for a strike back, but it's all in favor of Lucaozy, who's looking to shut this pistol round down from CT spawn. He's just got one more to find right now, and Hitty shaking in his boots with these positions. As they slip the gap, though. Not quite. Not away from VSM. And Fluxo recover the pistol.
That's their first of the series, and it comes at the best possible time from them. One that could easily set them across the finish of Mirage. And it's quite the inverse. Earlier, we saw them lose a couple of rounds on Inferno. They called a timeout. All was well in the world. Now, they're completely out. They're running out of answers. They just lost the pistol with no bump plant, and they're force spying.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, it feels like a mirror image right now. It is just simply Fluxo returning the favor here, saying, did you have fun in that first map? Well, no longer here. We're going to give you the tough result here of getting in that same situation. T-side, having to constantly force until you eventually win a round, if you get the chance to win a round. And that's obviously going to put a lot of limitations on what you can call and what you can do in this second half. And that's just credit to Fluxo putting Imperial in a pretty deep hole.
I think everything is going to come down to this round. If they force up and Imperial lose it, you might just call that done and cooked, right? But the only thing we're seeing invested in totality is the Galil and armor buy on Decenty. You know, they'll have a horse in the race, but nothing too insane. So, win or lose, the course may not change all that much. Imperial just looking to put some numbers on the board, get some reason to keep fighting. And for now, it's a very slow-paced approach for it. I mean, Fluxo, they showed aggression in the previous round. We saw them taking fights deep in apps. We saw the first kill come through from Zevi in Underpass. Fighting in ramp, you saw Che walk all the way pretty much in T-spawn. I get what Imperial are going for, but it's a big mix-up from Fluxo, who are just kind of staying rigid.
They are holding their ground. Going back to what's worked out as well in that first half, taking a lot of mid control on every defensive round we've seen already. Here we are. No CT side aggression towards A until PKL finally shows up. They were waiting for so long in this round, and finally PKL gives them something to think about. They're shifting up the setup though. PKL's alone. You cannot afford to go down here. Henny is in a pretty awkward off angle. And there's an entry. Wait a second. Oh, boy. Oh.
That was like a round-defining kill,
yes,
in my opinion. Che would have just gotten overwhelmed, outnumbered. Now he's got assistance in spades. 2 surrounding him, 1 in Palace, 1 in Con. Distractions pulled every which way. 8 seconds to go. This one's got done and dusted written all over it. I wonder if they're going to kill after time. Phelps, 2 seconds to go. Running in there with the knife. I liked the idea, but maybe cooked it a little too long.
A little bit of vision right there. That's one way to get your kill reward back, or your death reward. But fortunately, doesn't The knife kill there doesn't get to walk away with some extra flair. Instead, they get to walk away with at least a gun round here. Like you said, Decent D, the only one really given much of an investment. They don't get rewarded much for that investment, though. It's only a single casualty on the CG side, and the rifles are still out. You're still up against the full brunt of this defensive Fluxo roster. And you have no room for error here.
Yep. Feels like it's everything, especially right now. To build that foundation, that somewhat safety net. You're gonna have to start coasting quick. Cruise control will not help you out whatsoever here as Phelps sneaks through connector, aided by anonymity. Again, it seems he's cooked a little too long. Instead, he's the one getting burnt now in a 5-on-4 Imperial who already can't afford a mistake. They have to work from the back burner. Dude, look at this from Fluxo. They just sent 3 players in mid on a re-aggression.
Yeah, this is full control here manufactured. Zevi, though, I mean, doesn't stop, doesn't relent on this control either. Gonna now tuck himself in towards Sandwich. There's a lot of Molotovs here, and you'd only have to imagine that one of those is gonna be tossed his way.
Yeah.
There's one towards under balcony, but
wait,
here's the execution. He has no health.
They actually didn't molly him off. They're lucky Decent D comes away with that kill, because that could have been a round-winning angle. Now they're just flashing for their teammates in CT. Lucaozy blinded up by a team flash. Bomb now dropped on the cross, creates other issues for Imperial, now needing to jump back in the realm of fire just to get control of the round. Seems like they'll never recoup from it. 12-3, the iron strikes while it's hot, and Imperial being strucken down with now 9 rounds needed just for overtime.
We get a little bit of whiplash here in this series. Both teams getting the full brunt of this, the peaks of these rosters on when they're able to play at their best, what they're capable of here. I feel like we got that out of an Imperial. We got everyone stepping up to the plate, no missing pieces, and now we got the same case for Fluxo. They're just, I mean, 5 rounds is the kill distribution from top to bottom. And that's a really good sign here. DCT looks to deal with this pressure. There's one opener, but not another. VSM. He's an absolute beast in apartments.
They've shut him out. But Zevi is still a hanging pawn, stuck in connector with no real sign of escape. Oh, he pulls the trigger a little too soon, giving Phelps the opening opportunity, and the flash is placed perfect. No rebuttal. And now VINI creeps the catwalk. Tying doesn't favor. There's still only the one man stuck at B. Molly to prohibit for now, but rotations are few and far between. It's still a game of buying it for the flank. Yeah, K. This is everything, really.
Yes, I'm able to get his way a little bit more entrenched into the site, but like you said, it's just about buying time, and maybe not enough time bought. Off the clock here. We'll see how quickly Shay can arrive on this flank, but numbers already being punched in.
This is problematic. They've essentially left it all onto the idea that maybe doubling up in the apartments could work, but I think Lucaozy realized too late that he can't be taking this. Oh, anyway, he showed his hand. They know where he is. They know he's stuck, spamming through the smoke. They spotted him cross back over to the bench side. Shay jumping out. All they need to do is trade, and the game comes to a collapse. Wait, this is not called. They didn't call this. What's the Lucaozy? Where's the come? I have no idea. Fluxo. They fumble hard. Henny's been given a chance, and so have Imperial.
I don't think Lucaozy registered it because I was with you. I thought, where was the communication? But Lucaozy was still, like, aiming towards bench, even though he saw that cross. So I guess it just wasn't registered on his screen. No one was able to call that. He had snuck his way on through Van. And a missed opportunity right there to seal this one in the easiest fashion. You got a 2v1 post plant, but just barely missed. It's just away from your grasp. And now we'll see how much of a meal really Imperial can take of this one. How much more can they give us out of this game here that felt very over just 20 seconds ago?
Oh. Phelps keeping a good times rolling, but Zevi's the first to worry about on catwalk. Op is this deadly asset right now, and with a shot missed, maybe some respect gained.
A little man advantage can go a long way. You see the op in charge of all of this B-side control right now. That's the gamble that Fluxo have made. placing their faith in Sevi to maintain control here with his better firepower and stack over this A side. But I think it's going to be a split.
Yeah.
In towards this B site here. Up catwalk, and Sevi's got a really tough job at hand.
And he's not even really properly set to counter this cat push, right? Like, maybe you'll react if they throw some utility, but I mean, what utility, right? Like, Decent T right now is tossing his flashes over to VINI, and that's the only audio cue you're going to get for the rest of the round. So, Zevi either pretty much wins the round for them, or just kind of goes down with the shaky B site. Nice shot on the cross, no way dropped. But that's what VINI's there for, to trade and not allow you to inch closer. And Fluxo are ready to bow out of this one. They don't really have any intentions on hanging around.
Yeah, it was really Zevi, you're bust. And if Zevi could have maybe found multiples right there, it could have been something, but catwalk is scaled up so effectively.
Just ended, really.
Goodness.
VSM is like the con god, I feel. Even though that kill didn't come from con. I love seeing him in con.
Yeah?
It just hit me.
I like my apartments.
Really?
Been doing some work there this game so far. Either, you know, he's won them rounds. He's also been... I feel like he's willing to go aggressive enough to where it's not really like a useless apartments lurk, you know what I mean? Like, he actually pokes and prods when he's lurking about there, and I feel like that. And then on the CT side, he's already given some in-your-face, like, proactivity that I feel like over the grand scheme of things should make Imperial fear that side of the map. What has he got this round for us?
A lot. Is this? Okay, I was gonna say, I feel like something outlandish like a B-pop here is... I like the patience from Fluxo here, right? You really want to set your rifles up for success, and it seems like they're placed perfectly. Sandwiched around middle, trying to play this quarantine game of stopping Imperial from reaching any further stage of map control. But there's not a lot of prongs in connector right now, right? As soon as Phelps creeps up into the stairwell angle, it feels pretty close to uncountable. And I love the way they got the setup in ladder, right? It's all a bait and switch. Get Lucaozy involved. And that's what they've done. But the bomb still paths its way up into B, knowing the only rifle here is not to contend. AK drops 2 in window and now leaves it all to Lucaozy, the lone man left on cat. And Imperial, even though they know he's here, I don't really think they see much risk. Even if he was still here, you just trade it out, gun out, and that'll be it. But he just grabs the op instead and calls it a day.
Definitely going to be able to secure this one. Lucaozy getting out with this op would be really nice for them as well, as I don't know if they'd be able to afford it without this save. Yeah, Imperial sticking around here for a little while longer. They're building up a little bit of steam, a little bit of momentum here going in their favor. These MR12 comebacks, they kind of sneak up on you sometimes, so you got to be careful here if you're Fluxo. Oh my god.
Wow.
There you go. That's one way to avoid your problems right there. And hop saved, that's crucial. Be able to toss that one on over to Sevi. Get all the tools out for another big gun round here. Your next big opportunity to try and seal this one out on in.
The problem is, right, these past couple of rounds, they've looked good for Imperial, but it just feels like eventually that twig is going to break. They're just sneeze in the right direction at this rate, and it feels Imperial will be thrusted out of Mirage. But Phelps is taking quick glances up catwalk, and this is one of the rare instances we haven't seen Fluxo put up a fight here. And wait, is he gonna stop? Nobody's in window either. What is going on? They have taken fights everywhere but mid. Zevi is the only one in close proximity, and I don't think VINI ever peeks this angle.
Not without the proper utility to turn that corner. You have a player in ladder who might be able to be the next prong of approach. But you're right here. Looking to avoid this AWP presence here. So far, so good. Zevi just locking in, trying to cover off so many bases right now. Right there is a severe threat. And the mix on towards middle. Oh.
Wow, dude. Henny is just lights out with those kinds of shots, man.
Molly flushes VSM out here. He's got all the tasks to do on this B side here. Re-ups on the angle again. Almost takes care of Vinny. And there is no presence just yet from No Way flying in the sky to try and find him. VSM delivers another. It's forcing them into this A side here. It's forcing them into this fight versus Lucaozy here in the flames. Trying to get his gun out again. Just lands a headshot, but bombs on catwalk.
And he's dinked. They know VINI is dinked. So this is a massive... Wait, is there even time? There's 15 seconds. He has to run all the way up catwalk and get into the side. I think the game's just over. I don't think VINI could possibly win it. He can't walk whatsoever. Gun out as he springs up. Knife out now. VSM, take your time. The killing blow lies in another round. It looked like Imperial had everything going for them. This is exactly what I was saying. One mistake, one flaw, and it all tips over. Fluxo, a great looking map. And all of a sudden, it seems like the troubles of the first are gone.
Yeah, no question. Really good response right there. Great reply for two teams that are top of the charts. Both of them kind of dominating here today on two separate maps here in both best of ones, and that's a great sign rolling through for